Okay, true story time. Jerry, we were just looking at some TikTok videos of Tom Arnold's stand-up. Remember Tom Arnold from, the Roseanne Show, True Lies and all that? Anyway, I was telling her I met him when he came to Tommy T's. I think it was 2009. And I wasn't working there by then. I was really entrenched with Safeway, trying to be the boss man. Anyway, Tom Arnold's stand-up consists of him just telling stories about the famous people he's met or whatever. So Jerry's like, you should do that. She goes, your delivery is a lot better, but I have met a lot of famous people, and I've told some here on the talk. But what I never talked about was, she didn't know, was Laurence Fishburne, right? This is like 1991. He wasn't Laurence Fishburne then. He was Larry Fishburne. And that's how I always knew him, Larry Fishburne, Anyway, and you know who I'm talking about. He was it Morpheus from The Matrix, and of course, a host of other movies. He's an amazing actor, right? So, like I said, this is 91. Now, we're in San Francisco. It was my cousin and a friend of ours. We went to this nightclub on a Thursday. It was called DV8. If you remember Dr. Winky's club down there south of Market, where the Caribbean Zone was and all that. You ever been there? Caribbean Zone had that plane that was in the nightclub. That was the restaurant, like an old plane that crashed. It looked like it crashed in the jungle. That was the restaurant. Then they had a huge club. Matter of fact, I knew the DJ there, a guy named Pete Avila. Thursday night, though, it wasn't the jumping night. It was more downstairs in the basement, a lot of college students or whatever. So, at any rate, like I said, this is the early 90s. Fish was in town to film the movie Class Action with Gene Hackman and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Remember that movie? That's a good movie. Matter of fact, they had the end when they made up, her and Gene Hackman, and they're playing Simply Red, if you don't know by now. Anyway, off topic. But so check this out. So we were exiting the club because it was Thursday and we all had to work on Friday. And there was these four brothers trying to get in. Like I said, they didn't have the big, huge club up top with the, the big ceiling and all that. That's for the weekends. This was Thursday night. And so you went out a little side door. So we came out that door and these guys are trying to get in. And the bouncer was kind of sweating them, And who are these guys? And he's doing that, But I was like, and I'm now I'm like 6 foot, right? And I'm taller than Fish, right? Larry Fishburne, or Laurence Fishburne, I don't know if he grew, but I was a lot taller than him. He's a little guy. He's an actor, right? Anyway, they're not letting him in, him and his three boys. And then I was like, hey, you're not letting in Larry Fishburne, right? And he looked at me, he goes, yeah, tell him, right? And so, Fred James, he's like, they from Cornbread Gnarl me, He's like, yeah. I go, he was in Apocalypse Now. And he's like, yeah. I go, this is Dap from School Days. He goes, yeah. And I said, that's Cowboy Curtis. And Fish went, yeah. Why is he ashamed to be Cowboy Curtis? It made him famous, right? I go, let him in. I don't know if they let him in or not because we had to go. But yeah, I met Laurence Fishburne back when he was Larry Fishburne. Love that dude, man. And then I think a year later he filmed, remember Deep Cover? That's a great movie, man. And of course, remember, what was the other one with Walken and everybody was in it? David Caruso, King of New York, And then of course, The Matrix and then the John Wick movies. I mean, he's totally A-listed out. But I knew him when he couldn't get into DV8 on a Thursday when we were exited. Famous fleeting. Happy Monday.